Education is truly the bedrock of this country. It's almost back to school, and as two 27-year-old children, we're preparing, doing our back to school shopping.
Binders,
staplers, like 12 staplers.
Don't forget your gat.
An interesting thing has been happening in Florida recently. Ron DeSantis, very, very cool guy, as I'm sure many of you know, approved this thing called PragerU to be used in public schools.
PragerU is an educational tool. Big fucking air quotes on that.
It's an educational tool, but really it's just like a media organization.
Exactly. It's not a university.
No.
It's not even kind of a university.
The whole website is supposed to counteract the left's efforts in education to brainwash everybody.
Because that's what we want to do. We want to brainwash the middle schoolers. Meanwhile, Florida is legitimately indoctrinating kids.
I really wanted to hear, what evidence do you have that I am despicable? All I heard was, well, because you indoctrinate kids, which is true. We bring doctrines to children.
Dennis Prager, one of the founders, PragerU, that's him.
Oh, the guy!
He and a bunch of oil billionaires are creating this website. No school districts have come forward saying they're going to use it, but basically because it's been approved, no one can really stop teachers from using this website in their personal curriculum.
Exactly. So any video that we show you today can be used by any Florida public school teacher legally.
Future generations are never responsible for the sins of the past.
Okay, I'll keep doing my best to treat everyone well and won't feel guilty about historical stuff.
Good, you shouldn't.
Government controls everything, even your children.
Hey, that's kind of what Dad was saying during his speech.
He got really mad and said schools weren't respecting parents' rights. Then his microphone was turned off and he couldn't finish talking.
Your education leaders are trying to silence father for same reason Stalin threw me in Gulag. Why did you really throw me in Gulag to be punished?
Because I was afraid of losing control of my power. You were telling the truth, and I couldn't defend my bad leadership and bad ideas, so I had to shut you up. It's what us communists do.
So, Mr. Douglas, do you think we should be activists, just not radical ones?
But if they are radicals like Garrison, you and your brother will be best served to stay away.
I think I'm just gonna worry about surviving middle school for now.
That sounds wonderful. And you, Leo?
I'm just gonna worry about being a kid.
PragerU has lessons for all ages, but we're gonna focus on PragerU kids because that's by far, I feel the most damaging. So basically they kind of disguise educational cartoon videos that kids would watch, but it's all propaganda, typically focuses around whitewashing history, promoting climate change denial, and also promoting colonization. Dennis Prager, who's just an upstanding, awesome guy.
Oh yeah, totally a good hang. I'd want to get a beer with this guy. He definitely wouldn't go over the edge and start saying extremely racially touchy jokes after not that much alcohol.
After a sip of his evening wine.
Yeah, no, this guy's a bourbon guy.
His evening absinthe.
His evening peyote.
His evening meth. Dennis Prager is a conservative radio host and writer. I just Googled Dennis Prager, and these were some of the articles that came up. We'll put the links and stuff below. He said things like, it's idiotic you can't say the N-word, that there's undoubtedly many nice slaveholders, that black students commit the overwhelming share of campus hate crimes. None of these have any backing, by the way.
Also, he said that unvaccinated Americans were the most hated group of people since slavery. This fucking guy, dude. Look at this one.
Very phallic of you, sir.
Can we just put a Gaussian blur right over that one? Just
really
quick. And boom. Let's poke around. What we want to do is we want to show you the website. We want to show you kind of how they present themselves, and then dive into some of the actual stuff that would be shown to kids. They're kind of set up one-off kind of historical, talking about Christopher Columbus videos, talking about historical figures, and then going through with these two kids asking all the right questions. Get it?
All the right ones. Very, very on the right.
What is PragerU? We promote American values through the creative use of educational videos that reach millions of people online. At 501c3 nonprofit, hey, we're a nonprofit, so you know all of these motherfuckers are getting tax write-offs.
It's tax exempt.
Offers free alternative to the dominant I'm more of a submissive left-wing type. Whether you're searching for a deeper understanding, a new perspective, or a way to get involved, PragerU helps people of all ages think and live better, aka the way we want you to think and live. Oh, they are already asking for donations.
If you donate to this, it should be flagged like how Venmo flags if you donate to like ISIS or something.
Yeah. Let's navigate over to like
all kids content.
Yeah. So this is kind of like just very clearly set up to be like some fun PBS website. Fun inviting, colorful. So Leo and Layla are the main clips that I've seen.
Same here.
History adventures.
Grade.
Kids 3rd to 5th grade.
Meet historical figures
in
that
the
shaped
flesh.
the world in this time-traveling cartoon for elementary school kids.
Fun, easy, not devious.
Yeah, super innocent. We're going to go through a couple clips now and you'll see what they mean by, meeting historical figures. So this is Booker T. Washington.
I hate that our country had slavery. Mr. Washington, sometimes do you wish you could have lived somewhere else? Like a different country?
That's a great question. And I hate slavery too, but it's been a reality everywhere in the world. And even now in 1910, it's still happening in other countries. Despite our nation not always living up to our declaration that all men are created equal, I am still so proud and thankful to be an American.
Even though you were a slave?
Exactly, because I was and not anymore.
So
okay, let's unfucking pack this. God damn it.
I'm sure if Booker T. Washington was alive, he would for sure say the same thing about previously being a slave.
Absolutely. You go through waves in life. There are ups.
Like not being considered a human being.
Yeah. His first point is, well, there's like slavery in other places.
Yeah.
Even in 1910.
They didn't mention too, Britain had abolished slavery by this point.
Yeah.
And like so did other places too. So it wasn't like America was the first, which
Absolutely.
also doesn't really make a difference. If
It's
other
like-
places are doing it too, that doesn't make it any less horrible. It's making him out to be like, look, slavery was bad, but America's still fucking sick. Because all these other places were doing it too.
We've found a lot of these clips, like a lot of the way we're like presenting this, we've found a lot of the basis of these like extremely kind of radical ideas pinned up in these nice little kid shows. And the fucked up part is they're kind of in between some just normal history.
Yeah, so
Like,
that's why it's easy to like sneak in propaganda. The whole point of this is it's supposed to be disguised as educational.
Exactly.
Do we want to move on to Christopher Columbus?
Slavery is as old as time and has taken place in every corner of the world, even amongst the people I just left. Being taken as a slave is better than being killed, no? I don't see the problem.
Well, in our time, we view slavery as being evil and terrible.
Ah, magnifico, that's wonderful. I am glad humanity has reached such a time. But you said you're from 500 years in the future? How can you come here to the 15th century and judge me by your standards from the 21st century?
Don't take our fucking statues down. Just stop it. I like our statues.
Anything is better than being killed.
That's the worst.
That is the lowest bar you could possibly have. And also, Christopher Columbus did kill a lot of people.
Honestly, dude, like, have y'all seen a diagram of a slave ship? The way that they would transport slaves? Yeah. That is worse than death. That is way worse than death. I would want to die.
I love that the rationale is, look, they should be grateful they're slaves and not that we just killed them all. It's wild, man.
It's just like a lot of these points, it seems like they're coming from a perspective of like just not apology.
It was a different time.
It was a different time. We see things through a 2020 lens. But like the thing is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if shit was different. These things were like abject horrors.
We've seen PragerU's take on slavery and whitewashing, but let's move to the more climate change denial.
Layla, is that you? What are you doing here?
Why is his voice like that?
Hey, Uncle Will. We brought our friend Naya to meet you.
She lives in Central Africa, and her village doesn't have electricity.
Couldn't even find
Hello,
the fucking
sir.
country.
I hear you are an energy expert. I would like to gather information from you and take new knowledge back to my family and community.
I think I can help. I'm an environmental scientist, and I've written lots of books about different energy sources.
We need to know which energy source is the best, so that Naya's life can be better.
Let's start by sorting the different ways to produce energy into two groups, reliable energy and unreliable energy.
One group already sounds bad.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, because that's how they framed it.
Reliable energy comes from coal, natural gas, and nuclear power plants. Each of these takes a natural resource from the earth and can create energy for people to use around the clock, year-round. That's why we say they're reliable, because they can always be counted on. It's also nice that they're not too expensive.
So which energy sources are known as unreliable?
Those would be solar power from the sun and energy produced from windmills. They are unreliable because they only can make energy when nature cooperates.
There's no sun at night, and not every day is sunny.
Where I live, even on sunny days, most mornings are foggy and misty.
Does your village get a lot of wind?
Not really. Sometimes we have very nice, pleasant breeze, but it is very rarely windy.
Oh, hello, GDP subscribers. I didn't see you there. Do you want to know how renewable energy really works? Well, the big, strong scientists at GDPU have got you covered. First off, there's a lot of pretty silly propaganda out there being spread by richer-than-God oil barons who use their all-encompassing influence to spread bullshit. The first point of bullshit is windmills and solar panels are unreliable. Almost like the idea of supposedly objective educational information on environmental science coming from an oil company. In the case of solar panels, they still work even when it's cloudy, because, if you can believe it, the energy-producing power of
the sun
is not completely hindered by some fucking foggy globs. Even if panels aren't working at 100% output 100% of the time, any excess energy they produce on really sunny days or when energy demand is exceeded, they can store in external battery cells. Isn't that exciting? That way, it's possible to extract supplemental energy on days when it's really cloudy or even on days when it's not days. When it's nighttime. In the case of windmills, their blades are incredibly sensitive to any breeze at all, so turbines can keep spinning for hours even after the breeze has completely died down. Plus, much like solar panels, they store any excess energy they produce in external battery cells to be used whenever they need. That means energy generated by solar and wind power is actually much more flexible for our energy distribution infrastructure. Anyways, thanks for listening to GDPU's new segment, Get Your Fucking Facts Straight, Florida. We hope you enjoyed.
Now wake up, it's the first day of school, you didn't do the fucking summer assignment, you're in high school again, you're a freshman, you didn't get out, you're late for the bus, go, wake up.
But Uncle Will, wind and solar are renewable forms of energy. Even if they're limited, we're not going to run out of them, and they don't harm the environment.
Not so fast, Missy. It's true sun rays and wind don't harm the environment.
I like, too, that he doesn't address the first part of the question. We're not going to run out of them.
Right.
That's not, it's just that they're damaging the environment.
Windmills and the batteries needed for these types of energy are all made from materials that have to be mined from the earth, cannot be recycled, and become hazardous waste.
God forbid we use an energy source that can't be recycled and produces hazardous waste. Are you fucking kidding me? Also, on top of that, like, you make that once.
Yeah.
And then it produces energy and doesn't produce waste again.
Yeah.
It's frustrating that to us, this is fucking full of holes like Swiss cheese.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like to a kid, you show them a thing, they don't think of what the opposite could be.
And it's framed as
They're
an
like,
educational
look at this thing. I mean, yeah, look at the fucking bio. Are your children being told that going green means relying on solar panels and windmills? Teach elementary school kids the truth about nuclear energy with this animated video.
I just hear that solar and wind are the way to save the planet.
Unfortunately, many of the people who talk about how great they are for the environment give misleading information and leave out very important facts.
Like what?
What? That's crazy
for starters,
for someone to do.
Even when the sun shines bright and windmills spin fast, wind and solar just aren't powerful enough to power the modern world.
That's not true.
The energy from them just isn't dense and robust enough. Wind and solar still have to use reliable sources for most of their power.
Sounds like a giant waste.
Sounds like a giant waste of time. You should definitely invest more money in oil. Well, I love too that they're like, see, most cities that have solar and wind also use these other things. It's like, yeah, because like oil billionaires like you like lobby against stuff like that.
And like all of that stuff requires space that also needs to be bought from usually the government. You know, a lot of that stuff can be supplementary and be beneficial as well.
We have to start somewhere with using this stuff, like using renewable things. So like we need to invest the money in that and like get the space and like the resources that many oil billionaires don't want. This is their narrative for that.
Maybe those places want to be green, Leo. Maybe they want to set a good example.
What was that? Was that a bird?
Ew, gross.
Did that bird just get killed by a windmill?
Yes, it did.
Yes, it did.
You've been misled about renewable energy and their impact on the environment.
I seem to have this like weird, like mental picture of birds
covered in
oil. What the fuck was that? Am I imagining that?
Leave me alone!
I think BP Oil handled that really well.
No, it was totally safe.
No birds, no animals were harmed.
It was totally safe. It's reliable energy. Reliable.
Yeah. On the way there, one of the writers was driving and a bird shit on his car, and he's like, okay, I'm going to go in and pitch the story of my goddamn life. This one's now for a little bit older gentlemen, like me and you.
We're growing up.
We're getting older.
Is masculinity toxic?
What comes to mind when you think of the word masculinity? Do you think of this?
I can feel the testosterone running through my veins.
Yes.
Oh, hell
and
yeah.
I want to be that man. I'm sorry.
I want to be that man just cutting down a forest of trees. Oil billionaire, dude. Let's cut down the forests.
Yo, buy some oil for that fucking chainsaw, buddy.
Yeah.
Or this?
It's you, Wyatt.
Shut up.
This was you like 2 weeks ago.
Shut up. Why does that look so much like me?
They're the same picture.
He just has a stronger mustache.
Shut up!
His is fake. It's fake.
Being a man isn't something to be ashamed of, so embrace your masculinity.
It took masculinity to defeat Nazi Germany in World War II.
I'm sorry, fucking what? I didn't watch this clip before this. I have never heard a wilder claim than toxic masculinity took down the Nazis.
No, it's just masculinity took down the Nazis.
The entire American war machine took down the Nazi party. Who fucking built those planes, man? Do you remember the muscly lady?
No, but see, it's because she's really just masculine.
Oh.
They're just saying basically any positive attribute is just masculine, you know? Like,
okay.
It's not wrong to be a man, but that's like
or have a mustache.
That's not like what anyone is saying.
It's not about holding a chainsaw and being like, I'm filled with testosterone in this fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger accent. It's about maybe having the challenges inside yourself to like express your accurate and true feelings. Or maybe to say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. It's not just being a man.
Yeah. I want to see a little more of this one.
Please.
It took masculinity to defeat Nazi Germany in World War II. It took masculinity to mine coal and keep America's homes warm.
See, again, oil billionaires. So it took men dying in coal mines.
That just happened.
I feel like,
it wasn't anyone's fault.
Yeah, it's still a good energy source, though.
It's clean. It's reliable.
I'm really excited to see Leo and Layla meet Adolf Hitler. I'm excited for that episode.
Right, and be like, so tell us about your art.
Yeah. Tell us how you reinvigorated the German economy. People in our time think you're this bad guy.
Anyway, we are not a research political channel.
No, we aren't.
Take what we have given you with a grain of salt. Obviously, you know, like we are coming at this with our perspectives on this whole issue. I think certain parts of this are very black and white wrong. That being said, take a look at these videos. We just thought it was like
insane,
really comical.
You can fall anywhere on the political spectrum, but I feel like with education and and kids, because they're so impressionable, we just have to be really careful about what is shown and what is taught.
Absolutely.
We thought these were funny, but also like a little scary that this could be taught in Florida
it's
as
propaganda.
it is propaganda.
That's
like,
what it is. So poke around. Obviously, we're not going to do anything about it because we are powerless in our
Yes.
current society.
We hope you enjoyed the video.
We
Thanks
do.
for tuning in.
If you like the video, please make sure to like the video and subscribe and comment. Thank you so much
Yeah,
to
and-
all of the support for my bare face in the last
Oh,
video's
yeah.
comment section. I read that. I'm sorry. My girlfriend says it gives me a specific sexy air, so it's coming back.
We'll see it grow back
Oh,
together.
and make sure to hit that bell so you never miss it.
and also I was gonna say, if you subscribe, we shout out our new subscribers at the end of every video. So here they are.
If you ever have like a question in your heart about something ethical or
Something that might not be like surface level,
Yeah.
go to an oil baron.
Yep. Trust oil companies.
Ask an oil company.
Or a guy like Dennis Prager who believes that everyone should be able to say the N-word.
The left has made it impossible to say the N-word any longer. That's disgusting. It's a farce. It's the only word that you can't say in the English language.